All right. So hello everyone. This is the monthly APAC friendly meeting for sick dogs, held on the 28th of February, at 11 a.m. IST. I am Divya Mohan, one of the co-chairs for SIG documentation. And essentially, this is a place for people in the APAC region to come and speak up about their, concerns or issues or anything that probably requires attention from an approval or reviewer perspective. As always, I would like to remind everyone on the call that we are governed by the Kubernetes Code of Conduct, uh, which in its TLDR version boils down to please be nice to one another and refrain from the use of any harmful language. That being said, if you notice any sort of such behavior or language being used in any forum across the board, whether it's on GitHub, whether it's on Slack, or even during these meetings on chat, even, please make it a point to notice it. I mean, to obviously notice it, but also report it to the Code of Conduct Committee um, by email or via private. Um, uh, private email or whatever. So there's a way to do that, and it's outlined in the agenda doc. I think I've shared the agenda doc in the Slack channel, but for the benefit of those who've joined in and probably who are going to join in, I'm going to do that once more. So just a second. The agenda doc is again on the chat for this Zoom call. And just a few sanity check items before we go ahead in the form of updates and reminders. So we have these um, review we have a approval and reviewing process which is streamlined with the help of a PR wrangler and an issue wrangler role. So the PR wrangler role is responsible for reviewing and approving PRs, and for the week that they are assigned they take on weekly shifts. So this week's PR wrangler is Karen Bradshaw. Next week's PR Wrangler is Dipesh, and the week after that is Tim. Now, PR Wranglers are also assisted by shadows in the event that fairly new folks want to understand the process of reviewing and approving PRs. So, this week and next week, Niranjan is the person who's shadowing Karen and Dipesh. Following which, Rudraksh Karpe is the person for shadowing Tim to understand more about the approving and reviewing process. So that's it about the PR wrangler bit. With regards to the issue wrangling bit, we have a lot of issues in our repo, which we're trying to triage and get through. For that purpose, we have an issue wrangler role to again take on a weekly shift and actually triage those PRs, assign correct labels, and ensure that they are assigned to the correct SIG and etc. So this week's issue wrangler role is the Dipesh, and next week's issue wrangler role is taken on by Ray Lahano. Um, as always, you can sign up to be a PR Wrangler Shadow. If you want to learn more about the process by reaching out to any of the leads. We have the permission to edit that wiki and take on a shadow against any of the PR wranglers that are there for this year. So if this is something of your interest, please reach out to one of us. But I'm going to take a pause there and see if anybody has any doubts or questions or concerns. Okay, so I'm assuming that the silence means that everything's great and you all have understood whatever I said. So I am going on to the agenda items for today. The first up is going to be the release 1.30 updates. So I think Amit, we have you here on the call and you've updated the docs as yellow and comms as green. Not
Uh,
sure. Yeah.
I was not meaning to update the docs. I just put it there as a placeholder, copied, pasted. So let me clarify that and remove that because I do not have an update for docs.
Okay.
I only have an update for comms.
All right. Yeah. Please go ahead with the update for comms. I'll tag the docs channel to update their respective status here. Thank you.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Hmm.
So as far as the comms are concerned, we have contacted all the KEP owners for blog opt-ins, and we have completed the deadline date, which is 27th02. So all the non-respondents were set to opted out, and we totally have 17 feature blog placeholders in place as of now. This is going to be dependent on how many of them actually manage to hit all the deadlines of 1.30. And it's possible that we, as time goes by, some of these feature blog placeholders will get relegated out of the entire PRs. Um, as far as the other bit is concerned, we have now reached out for mid-cycle blog outreach to all the KEP holders for certain major changes, which are going to be released in 1.30. And we have currently a doc in place in draft. Sorry, just give me a second.
Yeah. Not a problem.
Sorry, but that my dogs are barking. Uh, so basically, we are currently gathering content from all the KEP owners, and we are waiting to confirm with Kristen whether all the reviews look good. And once we hear back from all the KEP owners, we will finalize our mid-cycle block. That's it for me.
Thanks for the update. So I just have two things here. So the 17 feature blog, these are just feature blogs, right? They are not inclusive of the mid-cycle blog and the eventual release blog that are coming. I just want a clarification. I know that you've mentioned 17 feature blogs. Just to re-clarify what this means. It's 17 feature blogs
Absolutely.
only. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, this is only related to feature blogs, nothing to do with the mid-cycle blog. So for the mid-cycle blog, I think we only have 5 major changes which we are considering. And for the final
Okay.
blog, it will come at the end once we
Yep.
finalize how many of these features actually go live.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And if there's anything that's required from our side from an approval and review perspective, please don't hesitate to reach out on SIGDocs or even on the release comms channel by tagging us. We would want this to go smoothly as possible, because I'm very well aware that KubeCon's coming very close, and a lot of our approval and reviewer staff are going to be there at KubeCon. So there might be a whole I wouldn't say lack, but in general, that week of KubeCon EU we will definitely be having a shortage of reviewers and approvers. So if there's anything at all that is there, please don't feel shy or hesitant while reaching out, because this is of utmost priority. And we have to get this out mid-cycle, as is obvious. So please reach out if there's
Absolutely.
anything required from our side.
That being said, I think Natalie and I from the comms group would be there at KubeCon this time. So I
Yeah.
think Kristen would be checking more of that part during the KubeCon week.
Yeah, I'm aware Natalie is the comms shadow, and she'd probably be, also very active, because she's also the co-chair here. So apart from that, if like anything slips through the cracks, please let us know. I know that you're coming for KubeCon, but Kristen or whoever, just as a PSA, please let us know
Absolutely.
if there's anything at our end
I'll
that
I'll I'll
needs to be
inform our
expedited.
team.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. Thank you, Divya.
All right. Thank you so much. So we don't have the status currently, so I will check with Drew and team and have them updated after the meeting, I guess. Next up, issues and PRs. Aditya, you have a list of issues. Do you want to talk through each of them? I can share my screen. But
Yeah,
do you want to talk through each of them?
yeah, yeah, that would be good. So they are actually three PRs.
Yeah.
Um, uh, They are fairly large in size, all three of them. So that is probably the reason why it's taking a bit of an effort for the reviews. But still, I just wanted to mention them here. So this one is actually an entirely new tutorial. It's a PR for a new page where which I
Okay.
wanted to contribute. There was an issue for it that we need a new page to describe how to update configuration by using a config map, and what are the differences between using a config map as a volume and as an environment variable. And I have drafted everything, and there are around 4 scenarios there. uh, Tim has already reviewed it several times. I've incorporated all the comments, and now it is at a stage where I think it is in quite a good shape, the PR. But I'm not getting the next step on it. So I'm trying to reach out to the PR wranglers and maybe some people
Right.
in the SIG docs, just to see if I can get an LGTM or something, because a lot of
All
effort has
right.
gone in it, and I want to see it uh, go to the next step. And I'm
Yeah,
available
that's
for
a
any further changes, yeah, that may be needed.
yeah, that's a great thing. Thank you for putting it on here. What I would suggest is, although Tim has reviewed, I believe there'll also be some sort of a technically technical review required. I know that Tim
Okay,
is far capable of doing that. I'm not saying no, but also I think there might be some sort of technical review required. I haven't gone through the entire PR, but this is definitely something that I will flag up, and I'll try from my side as well to help with this, because on all your PRs, I think one of the things that is required at this point is a technical review. I can see that on some of them they are there, but most of them they are not. So
okay,
first up, I think we'll have the PR wrangler, that's Karen, this week to actually signal to the respective SIG to get you a technical approval. Since Tim has extensively reviewed most of the stuff already, I don't think there should be much that's slipped through the cracks. But nevertheless, I think a technical review is absolutely important
okay,
before we put anything on there, lest anything be incorrect or a slightly here or there. So I'll ping Karen, and I'll also try to take a look at it myself, if possible, over the next couple of hours to signpost the correct reviewers from a technical perspective on here, so that this gets done at least by the next week, so that
okay,
you at least have some of them merged, if not all of them.
okay. Thanks for that. I just wanted to mention a bit about the second PR in my list, because that is a bit unique. On that PR, um, it's actually for a set of instructions on a page that work well with Linux, but not so much on Mac OS and Windows. And
Okay.
I took it upon myself to make the modifications to add Mac OS and Windows
Yes.
specific instructions there. But the
Yes,
problem
yes.
is Mac
This one I
OS,
know.
because yeah, I'm working on a Mac, so I have thoroughly tested everything. It works. I'm not able to do the same on a Windows, so I published it on the Slack that I need a contributor who is willing to try to execute those steps on a Windows, just to see whether there are any improvements to be made. But I've
Right.
not gotten a
So
response.
is the Windows bit actually holding you back?
Yeah.
Is that what is holding you back? So what I'd recommend is, I know that this is something that has been a problem, to be honest, with a lot. Like I've seen this multiple times pop up on Stack Overflow when I myself was searching for this problem when I started off with Kubernetes, right? So what I would right now recommend is that for Mac specifically, I know that Windows, we are not getting a lot of people here to help out. Is it possible that we merge this right now and then make the changes for the Windows bit after this? Like I'm asking it in the best interest, because I know that this is a problem that people often face. This particular one where minikube tunnel is required for accessing service and ingresses resources. So
Right.
um, if we can, I believe we should get this to merge sooner rather than later,
Mhm.
and then make the amendment for um, Windows whenever possible. Like, the reason is, I don't know if a lot. I know that a lot of people use Windows, but I don't know if anybody in our Slack
Mm.
actually who uses Windows has seen your message. That is the main problem. We will try
Okay.
to flag this up, as bubble this up as far as possible. But I'll also mention this to Karen when she's reviewing these PRs, and I'll also put a note in there that we should actually bias towards getting this merged for Mac specifically, because it's a very
Yeah.
often asked question on Stack
It's
Overflow. And
yeah.
I myself have asked this question many times when I started out, so I know that this is definitely a problem. So I will speak to Karen, and I'll see what we can do best to get this merged,
Right.
and bias for action rather than waiting on a Windows person. Like, I don't
Okay.
discount Windows. I'm not saying that Windows is a bad OS or anything, but the thing is, I don't know how many people in our SIG who actually use Windows are able to plow through all the messages on there. So either we need someone with a Windows machine who actually is using it to see and review and do the thing, or we'll need to bias for action in this case. So
Okay.
that's my two
Okay.
cents, and I'm gonna add that on
Fair.
the PR as well. So don't worry. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
But yeah, but thank you for all these three PRs. I'll
Yeah.
definitely bubble them up in my chat with Karen and with the other leads here. So
Thank you.
yeah, thank you so much.
Okay.
But any other issues or any PRs that require our attention, please let me know. Or not me, as in like the signal. We
Hmm.
will.
Okay.
I do see the messages, but the thing is, not the PR angler. Also, have like a localization to maintain. Also, have to do a lot of other stuff in the SIG. So it's a little difficult to get to all of it individually. Because there are multiple
Yeah.
files that need to be put out at one point, so
Yeah.
there's not a lot of bandwidth on. So I will try my best to get yours reviewed, and we will try getting some of these merged. But
Okay.
if there are any other issues or PRs, please post them on Slack, and we'll definitely
Okay.
get to it sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Not a problem. Thank you.
That's all from
um
my side. Thanks.
yeah, any other concerns, outstanding concerns or issues or PRs that anybody else wants to flag up before we move on to the next agenda item? I'm going to take the silence as a no. But yeah, I think we do not have any questions at this point. And discussion point wise, I don't think we have a lot of discussions ongoing at this point, except the localization bit, wherein that's not really a discussion in the sense that sorry that's not really a discussion in the sense that it's we've liaised with the CNCF and the LF to understand whether we can incorporate some tooling to help with our localization, because as everybody on here, or probably not everybody on here knows, we have like around 14 localizations, and it's very hard to keep up with the updates in the English website when your localization comprising of, say, 3 or 4 people as leads, and a bunch of contributors. So we're trying to see if that's a thing that's possible, because there's a lot of CLA and other legalities involved when you're contributing to Kubernetes, and automation by itself does not like cover a lot of those legalities, and we're not able to jump through those hoops. So That's something we're discussing, and there is like an entire thread in the SIGDocs localization Slack if anyone's interested in looking at it, where the Ukrainian folks have popped this up as a question, and we've liaised with the CNCF, and there's an entire issue where this is being discussed. I can add that on as the discussion point, but that's the only outstanding thing that comes to mind. But yeah, that's pretty much from me as with respect to discussion points. But I'll throw open the floor if there's any specific discussion points anybody else wants to talk about in this forum.
Nothing from me.
Nothing from me as well.
All right, I see that someone else has joined. I cannot see the name. I can only see 4 participants. But whoever has joined, if you want to come out and say hi and introduce yourself, that'd be great. Um, I
Uh,
like, yeah.
Hello, I am Asam Hamid. I am from Bengali localization team, and I am
Yeah.
leading the team. I just joined to
Oh,
get updated, always updated, so that
okay.
see what's going on SIG talks. That's why I joined
Okay.
here. Thank you.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Asim. But I just wanted to know, are there any, issues or PRs or anything that require attention from our side from a localization standpoint? Like, do you need any help? Because I know that you joined in late is the reason I'm asking. I don't know if you were there when we were discussing. So I just want to give you the opportunity if you didn't have the
No,
opportunity before.
I just joined to get updated what's going on in SIG docs.
Okay, all right. So since there is not a lot of discussion points or anything else, I am gonna pause here and um, you know, not pause here rather. I'm gonna punt the call here. Since we have a lot of time that we can take back and go back to our daily lives. So, thank you everyone for joining, and hopefully next month we have more attendees who come in for the Sick Dogs meeting. But it was lovely meeting everyone, and I'll see you around in the community. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thanks, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.